Morning guys, it's D Swordfish with some more Dota 2 gameplay, playing as Death Prophet once again, part 2, and this time I start getting all the kills. Sorry if my voice sounds weird, by the way. I'm a little sick, so my usually cumtastic tone of voice, which makes you guys want to wank, is not here today, so I'll try to do my best to still sound very sexy. Alright, so the commentary today, it started as a rant. I had the idea to make it as a rant, but it became somewhat of an epiphany. Because, you see, today I was in a library, and I was doing some work, doing some research for the Dota Cinema page. I was away from home, and not away, like, I was a long way from home. I had to start doing some research on the article, which I do. So, I was obviously in the library, getting the research done. And next to me, there was this young girl, I would say maybe 8th grade. She looked around 14. That's what she looked like to me. I may be wrong, but yeah. And she was doing her history essay, I'm pretty sure, something along those lines. But most importantly, she was procrastinating and looking at pictures of Avicii. If you guys don't know, Avicii is this DJ. I'm pretty sure it's a DJ. I hear him at clubs all the time, but I don't really know if he's an actual DJ. He makes music, remixes, etc., etc. He does a good job. Kudos to him. I'm not the biggest fan of techno, but I gotta admit, he's good. He knows what he's doing. And so she was looking at pictures of him, and talking to her friend, who I guess was of the same age, and talking about how cute he was, and how he was gonna be her future husband. And when you grow up, when you're like 17 or 18, you do this shit with your friends. I talk about fucking models and shit all the time, or actresses rather, all the time. But you don't actually mean it. But she said it with some kind of feeling, and she was doing these things, like she was looking at pictures and saying, "Man, he's just so cute. He's adorable." And the original commentary today was gonna be that I was in a rant on how society is really vain, like how the fuck are you really. You don't know this fucking guy, right? You know. He's good. He's a talented musician. I guess that's subjective, but he is to some extent talented musician. And I'll give him all that and bullshit. But you're falling in love, and air quotes around that, because she was saying, "Oh my God, he's my love. He's my future husband." So you falling in love with someone that is you don't fucking know for shit. He can be the best musician in the world, I'm in love with a singer in The Offspring, but not actual love. It's not any sort of, I never even take into consideration, obviously I'm never gonna date him. No, I'm kidding, obviously. But, obviously I'm never gonna date anyone. Yes, there's some cases which, yeah, it happens. You actually manage to date these amazing stars and whatever. But the weird thing is liking them without even knowing them first. But that aside, as I was thinking, this girl is fucking retarded. Maybe I should just end her life and do her a favor. No, I'm kidding. Never kill children. Only adults. I can only talk about killing adults. Killing children is like pedocide. No, there's petricide. There's a word for it. Don't kill children. Bad. They'll kill you in prison then. Anyway, so I was thinking, this girl's fucking retarded, blah blah. But then I realized she's just kind of escaping from life. She was not the hottest of girls. Okay, she's in 8th grade, so I can't really judge. But she was not pretty at all. I can't imagine her maybe being that pretty. She looked kind of nerdy, so. Yeah, I can imagine she's the kind of girl who not many guys love, or is not the most popular of people. And, she was just kind of escaping life briefly for a moment, just fantasizing about this Avicii guy. And yes, I'm against the reasons why she likes this kid, this singer or whatever. It was kind of stupid to like someone you barely know, or fall in love or whatever. But it's a nice little fantasy you can have to kind of escape life. And I realized that many kids do this. Many kids, like the believers and all this bullshit, they fantasize about, I don't know if it's having sex, I don't really know, I've never fantasized about, anyone, like, seriously. Like, I'm the kind of person who's really never given a shit about artists and shit like that, so I've not one. I don't really know what they do, but, I'm assuming they fantasize about dating them, etc., etc., it seems like that's what they talk about, so it seems like that's what they're doing. And, it's fine. It's mostly harmless as long as you don't do the cut for Bieber thing, which is fucking weird. And it's just a way to try to escape your life. And as you grow up, instead of stopping, instead of growing up and learning, yeah, you have to live life and make the best of it, blah blah blah, you never learn that lesson. Most people never do. The people that do don't the people that seem to live life and not have any fantasies are just the people that have a good life to start with. They never realize, oh, I have to make the best out of my life. They're just blessed with certain talents. Like, they might be intelligent or really pretty. Actually, the pretty comes before intelligent. But or they might just they might I don't know, be really sportsy or really social or whatever bullshit. And that's the people that try not to escape life. But everyone else, in some way or another, just has these kind of, you can call them fantasy, you can call them whatever you want, but these kind of places you escape to. And it's sad because I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that can't confront life head on. I don't lead the best of lives. I'm not very proud of what I do either. And it's sad because I can't. I can't, if I didn't have all these, if I didn't play my video games, read my books, watch my shows. I'm more of a shows guy, but I'll play video games a lot too. Though I don't consider that an escape in my case, but that's subjective. Or have my fantasies, which I obviously do too. I mean, I wank like all of you. I would probably not be able to go on living. To be honest, I would have kind of this constant depression. I'm not saying I don't, but have this constant depression all the time, and I would honestly not be able to continue living on. And I think many people, if you took away their fantasies, their dreams, where they're actually great or whatever, whatnot, actually think the same way. And there's many kinds of things. I've seen very few people who don't have this kind of escape. Lots of people play video games to escape. Many watch movies or shows, mostly shows, because it's easier to binge on them than movies. Movies is kind of you have to commit to a movie, so it's harder to escape using movies. Books are very common too. But there's other things too. Some people fantasize constantly about all these things they could do when they grow up, or when they or when they get this career or whatever bullshit, and they never, they fantasize about all these things, and they don't actually live their own life. Or some people will just study a lot. That also happens. Some people will just kind of close themselves in their room. I'm not saying it's the bad thing, but like, these people like close themselves in their room and study a lot. Everyone calls them nerds, and it's like, oh, you want to go to a good university. But I've realized that most of the cases, most of the time, it's not the case. Not people who are really obsessed about this idea of university, or really have to do well, or are pressured by parents. Most of the cases, maybe that was the original trigger, but eventually it turned into an escape mechanism where they don't have to confront life. They don't have to confront maybe their lack of sociability or ability to do sports, or any of the other many things which us human beings lack. And the saddest thing about this is that we need these escape mechanisms. We need them. Many people use them, but we need them. It's not a choice. It's not something I like doing. It can't be healthy. Yeah, sure, it makes me happy to play this Dota video game and forget about my problems, or watch Weeds or Entourage or whatever. Well, I finished all those shows, but see, the amount of problems these swordfish has. And it's nice to forget about these problems, to forget about my insecurities, my failures too, but I was thinking my faults. That's it. Another one that starts with F. My faults, my failures. It's nice to forget about these things, and to not think about them for a while. That's why people take drugs too. The drugs are kind of an escape mechanism some people use. And yes, we consider drugs worse than video games and worse than movies and stuff, obviously. But to an extent, the purpose that they serve is the same thing. Yeah, sure, people watch movies and series for fun. People play video games for fun. It's not only for this, but there are many people who just kind of need them to keep on living. Do not have to constantly confront their life, which may be devoid of meaning. And I know, because I'm one of those people. And I'm not the only one out there who just... It's hard to deal. It's hard to deal with shit, And I've talked about this a lot. I obviously, I support not support, but I always think that you should try to deal with everything you do, but everything in your life, etc., etc. But it's not that easy. It's not that easy to cope, and no matter how much you think um you can deal, eventually there's always a limit, and you need this sort of escape mechanism, and that's what human beings end up being. You can't. There's people that have a great life and they live life to the fullest. People who don't need an escape mechanism to kind of realize, well, even though my life is shit, I have these other hobbies, which I can kind of live off on. That's, I guess, why it's the idea that since we have all these hobbies, once we come back to reality, we're sadder than usual. We're unable to change whatever makes us sad, and we end up becoming just kind of like these carcasses that keep on living and wait for those moments when you can just kind of escape life into your little world, where you can be the hero of your fantasy, when you can just watch other people's lives, if you're into shows, or I don't know, have a wank in which you're the hottest guy alive. And usually I joke when I say this, but not this time. It's a nice little feeling. It's a very empowering feeling. It allows for people that are maybe insecure to have this refreshing moment where, you know, they're not completely useless. Slark is getting cut out here completely, and it's just nice to kind of, you know, have this escape mechanism, an escape, this kind of little island for yourself, this utopia where you can go to. But at the same time, it's sad that we need it at all. And I have not found yet a person who's able to just confront, had a lot of problems, and who was able to confront it head on without daydreaming anything of the sort. And we never give credit to these people, the few people that allowed to confront him. You say, "Oh, you have no hobbies," or blah blah blah, but they do. Their hobby is life. Hobbies are essentially a distraction from life most of the time. And yeah, people tell you to get a hobby and stuff when you're depressed, so you can stop thinking about the depression, but that won't ever make it go away. It won't. The depression will stay there forever, and you won't ever get happier, even if you don't confront it. But the thing is, can you ever confront it? Is it actually a possibility? Can we cope with these things, or are we just not made to cope with certain things in our life? Is our lives now just so complex because we have much more than the basic things we need? Are they so complex? Do we have this constant need for other new things because we're human beings, we're supposed to evolve, that we can never truly be happy? Is that why everyone claims that you can never really be happy? It could be, and it's sad. Really, because what do you do? That's the question I ask all of you. What do you do then? What do you do when there's just nothing? What do you do when you realize this escape mechanism is just that, and once you go back to reality, it's just going to be a hard hit. It's like a blow to the stomach. There's nothing you can do. Maybe accept it. Maybe over terms, I don't know, read some philosophy, and that's it. And that's all you can do. And probably this is the saddest outcome of any of my commentaries, but for once, I don't have a solution. For once, I can't see a solution for this problem. There's just nothing I can imagine people doing, and confronting them head on is obviously the obvious solution, but is that really possible? I don't think it is, unless you're a very strong individual, and in which case I respect you. So, you know, if you guys are ever going through this, or you ever have the realization, you know, stay strong, because you're not going through this alone. And I know this bullshit, and people usually don't care about that, but you're not alone, mate. You're not alone.